Hello, I'm Terry Greer, Superintendent of HISD. In today's show, you're going to see some of the amazing things going on within our walls here at HISD. I like to call them wow moments, and they're happening all across the district. This time of year is especially exciting for members of Team HISD as we watch the class of 2012 graduate and begin the next phase of their lives. It's a time to reflect and a time to celebrate our accomplishments. I'm proud to say that a record number of our students are graduating from high school, and we have fewer students than ever before dropping out. Getting our kids back into school and on track to graduate has been a team effort involving our principals, our teachers, and members of the Houston community. Take a look.
It is very hard to give you one specific reason why some kids dropped out, but you can hear many different reasons why.
Last year, I dropped out. I have a legally blind grandmother at home that I have to tend to.
We'd be lost without her.
I had anger problems. I don't know, I just had anger in me. I was thinking about dropping out.
I don't have that mother and daughter connection. I just wanted to run away from home.
I am in the 11th grade and I am 20 years old. I am a single mom and I dropped out for 2 years. I had no idea what I was gonna do. I felt like I had to be an adult. It's hard to be a mom, a student, and a worker, but with lots of help from other people, it does work.
Let's go. My particular job is to help them get back on track.
So we try to get them engaged in someone or some agency that's going to help them.
To make sure that every student here at Lee gets whatever resources are needed in order for them to be successful.
What can we do to help them achieve their dreams?
Like I have phone bills, gas, like food.
Well, we can help you with that.
He's doing the first period ELA tax review.
The purpose of the DRIP meeting is to discuss individual students that are having a difficult time being invested at school.
When we put all our efforts together, we address all those concerns.
Because no one student is alike. I actually hired an assistant principal that was just over the dropout tasks.
What we try to do is to pinpoint exactly what is it that we can do and prescribe those interventions for the students.
They know that we know them and that we're not going to let them drop out and that we're going to look for them, I think is probably the key component for this DRIP committee.
She completed 4 courses.
What we do daily, we do wake-up calls to our students that are no-shows often. Immediately, the Chancery system will trigger a call to the students.
Le estamos hablando de la escuela Lee High School. Es Miss Pastrana.
So Miss Pastrana right now, she will get the report and she will immediately start calling the students home.
Assistant principals are required to track student progress.
What can we do to keep you more focused? Is that class too large?
Freshmen are statistically known to have the highest dropout rates in high school. They know that we're going to come together to monitor their progress and talk about them. I've never met a student in my life that said, I don't want to be successful, and it's my job to make sure that they have every resource and every opportunity to do that successfully.
So we're going to check on your progress.
The LexisNexis has been great for us because LexisNexis is a program that will look for a student. We type in the student first name and last name and can look for anything on that student.
And in this case, the address that they have here does not match the addresses that we have in Chancery. Once we go to LexisNexis and we just found a dead end, we put them in our wall. This kid was actually in Mexico. Again, the idea is about making sure that we know where every single kid is at.
When we can't find a student, we have caseworkers that have been hired to go visit homes.
And the kids that we target are mostly kids who have been missing school more than 2 days straight.
Cindy didn't come to school today, so we need to figure out why.
Either because they're sick or just because the parents don't know that they've been skipping school.
Make sure you lock it up, because you shouldn't be here by yourself.
She's not home, her brother's not home, and the 10-year-old sister, who should also be at school, is actually here by herself.
We've got everything kind of taken care of from the beginning all the way to the end. And we try different things. If things don't work, we try something different.
And that may be putting them in Apex or putting them in Grad Lab.
We look at the students that need to make up credit. The Grad Lab affords them an opportunity to recover that credit and to get back in their original grade, and that keeps them motivated and keeps them in school versus having them just dropping out and giving up. But to be able to turn that around, have them receive their credits and get their high school diploma is just phenomenal. You can't beat it.
When we're able to contribute to what the students need and to help meet the goals and objectives of the school district, it's a pretty good feeling.
Anytime I can change the life of a child, make them believe in themselves, give them that confidence, It feels good. That's what I'm here for.
It is all about taking what you have and what can you do to make it better. That's how I was made up. I don't know. I just love what I do.
I couldn't be at a better school, better place, surrounded by better people.
I'm actually doing my work now, doing better at school.
I don't want to be just another statistic. And me getting back in school was the right decision.
So I might even graduate this year. When I was in 10th grade last year, they helped me get here.
I'm going to be the second person in my family that graduates. And I really want to go to college and have a nice life.
After graduation, which is June 2nd, I'll be going to HCC to become a pharmacy tech.
I have even a student that wanted to be a social worker because of the services that we provide on this campus.
I want to do this. I need to do this. I need to graduate. I have so much potential. What they said is that my daughter should not be someone that can stop me from doing it, that it should just be an encouragement. And those are just the best words I ever heard, so I was very, very thankful. I want to be a teacher. I want to make a difference in someone's life, just like somebody made a difference in my life.
Sochi Davila and her staff are doing a lot of hard work in using some creative strategies to connect with students at Lee High School. And they're sharing their ideas with principals and teachers across the district. It's the way we do business at HISD. We're constantly learning from each other, sharing what works well, and working together to make improvements. Herrera Elementary Principal Chris Carnes encourages his staff to be creative and collaborative. They find new ways to incorporate technology in lessons and then teach those lessons to their colleagues in weekly staff meetings. It's paying off, and now Herrera is one of the highest performing schools at HISD.
Broadcast starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good morning. Every kid needs to have the ability to produce and create and have a chance at being the next Steve Jobs.
So what's that powder called?
We want our kids to come to school thinking, hey, what's today going to be like?
We're close.
What's your evidence it's a desert?
Dry.
Because it looks like it's dry. I can teach ecosystems with a book, or we can get on Google Earth and go fly across the Himalayas.
It has a little bit of plants.
Now what country are you in?
Zambia.
The teacher is the most critical part of the equation.
Technology opens up a world to them that they may not get to see.
The neat little rows of chairs and desks had kind of disappeared.
We do have workstations now. They're designed to cater to different learning styles.
I have English language learners, visual learners, kinesthetic learners. I have to reach them all. I can't teach to the middle.
Technology allows you to address all those student needs.
I might design 2 different lessons. I have one for my higher students. They're moving a little bit farther. And then I have one for the student that's struggling, that's got a little bit more reinforcement. And I can do that with technology.
Some students might be working on a specific objective while I have a small group. That's the most valuable time, to have that one-on-one with each kid.
Nah. The benchmark data is put into Campus Online, and it's very specific about which objectives the students mastered, which ones they didn't.
Based on that information is how we group the kids, and it's constantly changing because children grow.
At the end of the day, we're trying to give all of our students the best education possible. To do that, we make sure that we have the best teachers and teaching strategies, and the technology is just a tool for them.
The gadgets are out there. Finding ways to bring them into the classroom, that's the innovation. We can teach force and motion with the Wii. We can teach angles. We can teach geometry with the Wii. They don't know they're learning geometry. They think they're playing on a Wii.
They get a great education. Dropping them off, I know that they're coming to a great place to learn.
The education that our children are receiving is top quality. It is a solid foundation that we have established here. I see it in my own children.
A lot of my children don't have parents that can go out and buy the latest computers or have internet access at home. And if they can't have it at home, then they need to have it at school. Just like I said, they might be the next Steve Jobs, who knows? But they're not going to be if we don't give them the opportunity. And that's what I want for my students, because that's what's right. That's what's going to give them the life they deserve.
You'll see dedicated principals and teachers like Chris and his staff all across HISD. They're driven to develop the potential and meet the needs of every child, and that includes our students with disabilities. Coming up, we'll take a closer look at how one HISD teacher is making a difference in the life of one very special student. It's a story you don't want to miss. HISD's Office of Special Education serves the needs of nearly 16,000 children in Houston. Each student has an individual education plan designed to give them services and support they need to be successful. At Memorial Elementary, a truly remarkable staff has created a campus that supports students with a wide range of disabilities. You'll see quality teaching and learning in every classroom for every child.
May have to knock again. It sometimes takes her a little longer depending on what stage she's at with Gladys. She might be in the middle of changing or something. Gladys was one of my first students when I first came to the classroom. Monday, she's 21. Good morning, baby. And she celebrated a quinceañera, and as a gift, I had the dress made for her. I got attached to Gladys because Gladys had my birthday, and I took that as a sign. It did something for me to see her go from not responding, which she wasn't sitting upright by herself anymore, and look at her now. She's sitting upright. She can scoot over and grasp things. She can activate toys. That Mickey Mouse she loves. Okay. She's vocalizing more. She's learned how to chew again. She eats a whole enchilada dinner now. So she's doing great. She really is. Bye, baby. Bye. Gladys gives more to me than I ever will to her. It's really great to see her. She's a very, very special child to me.
Ms. Sanchez has a big heart. She knows the standards, she knows the kids, and she knows what she needs to do to get the kids with their disabilities exposed to the standards.
Each one has their way of communicating, even just with a glance. Come on, big boy.
They tend to know a little bit about their traits, their wants. You know, they pick up on that really easily.
She's there with 2 assistants, and also the nurse is there.
Si no eres un equipo, o sea, no vas a poder seguir adelante.
The 3-person team is just something to watch day in and day out.
Every day you have to be prepared, not only physically, but emotionally.
The other thing that I think is just remarkable about this school is a very involved principal that I think does not distinguish between kids with and without disabilities. When Ms. Sanchez says, Mr. Castillo, I have an idea for the MI class, I know that she's looking to better the program. Most recently, it was a fish tank. And I said, okay, tell me how would it benefit the children? And sure enough, they are trying to track the fish. One thing that is necessary to work with these children is the use of technology. We spent about $3.5 million purchasing 583 universally designed for learning workstations. About 140 teachers have been trained in how to use the UDL workstations and more to get trained. And kids with severe disabilities from pre-K through high school are able to access computer-based software for improving literacy, numeracy, and so forth. We are working to ensure that kids with disabilities have access to the general education curriculum, that they learn all the skills that they need to be ready for college, for careers, and ready to live independently when they leave us.
You ready to cheer, guys?
Some of our MI kids participate in PE activities.
Ready, set, and...
The regular ed kids, they love working with these kids.
You see even the reaction from the special needs kids and the regular kids that sometimes there is no boundaries. They're just happy to be socializing together. For that instance, you feel like your kid's normal.
For just a while,
nobody knows what that feeling is like.
Give me a smile and let it go. Let your heart go.
It takes everything from me just so that my child feels just that normalcy with regular kids, just even if it's just for 5 minutes.
Everything's all right now.
Yay! She did it!
When children without disabilities grow up with children with disabilities, there's the greater social consciousness for shared responsibility for everyone. People tend to take care of each other better. Kids tend to grow up with more compassion and sensitivity. It's what you want society to be, and they need to start that way.
let your heart go. It's alright now, it's alright.
And they have taken these kids, welcomed them, thrown their arms open, and said, how can we help you?
They just accept them as they are. It is the most wonderful feeling. I wish Aja could stay here. I don't want her to leave here. That's the problem.
Thanks to Principal Art Castillo and his staff for the great work they're doing at Memorial Elementary School. They've created an environment where every student feels accepted, respected, and safe. Safety is a top priority at HISD. One of the areas that we're focusing on is bullying. Our Board of Education has passed an anti-bullying resolution, and our schools are taking strong measures to raise awareness and put preventative measures in place. Take a look.
I'm in the Vanguard program for advanced students. I've always had straight A's since I was in the pre-K, so I've never had one B in my whole life.
They started calling her names, you know, who do you think you are? You think you're smarter than we are? And they just started telling her different things.
Bullying has to be dealt with right away because the child is in limbo if you're not dealing with it right away. Because if they don't feel safe, they're not going to learn.
Our community and schools counselor, Ms. Elizabeth Limon, is very good at speaking to students.
So we're here to remind them that is not something that's acceptable, that you're going to do great things in life. You're that diamond in the rough. We're here to show you just what you're capable of.
We'll also have some informational sessions and some training sessions as well on things that can actually help the bully.
They're both children, so why is he acting out? What's going on here on campus and what's going on at home?
Or an administrator will take those individuals under their wing.
And so I just try to keep up with them and make sure and let them know that I'm on them.
Then we start looking for other support systems outside the campus that could come and work with the student and their families, like communities in the schools, like DePelchin.
So they're able to turn around, curb their behavior, and help others that are being affected by it as well.
Have you met Mr. Buffa yet? He's a counselor. She has filed a complaint against 3 students. I see that they have gym and French together. He actually went ahead and changed his schedule.
So instead of going to gym today at 6th period, can you just come into my office?
So the kid knows immediately that same day or the very next day that they don't have to reside in the same classroom with the bully.
We definitely want her to be safe at school. Ms. Diggs and I sat with the other students and we gave them a chance to speak their part.
It's about really investigating and then making the next steps based on that information that comes forth.
Finally, one of the girls started speaking out. This kind of behavior is not acceptable. In the end, they agreed that they would stop.
And those girls also had to fill out a contract stating that they would not come near me to threaten me anymore.
After the signing of the papers, after the schedule changes, what we look to do is to bring the parents into the school.
So what we want to do is find out how we can work with you to ensure that she does not bully while she's on our campus and that she herself is not getting bullied while she's on our campus.
It also means allowing the parents to understand what bullying is as well.
We have monthly meetings with the principal where the parents themselves come in and they talk about the issues to the principal.
And we all have to recognize that it starts and stops with us.
The message doesn't only start with training your teachers or your personnel or talking to groups of students. It lies deeper.
For us, it begins with training teachers on how do you develop those relationships and rapport before the kids even arrive on campus.
So that they feel comfortable talking to you about good things as well as bad things.
We had a session that just really talked about relationship building and rapport.
How's everything going? I want my kids to see me in the halls every day, in the classrooms, in the cafeteria. You guys make it worth coming to every day. That's part of my role in building that rapport with my children. What's so special about the color pink?
No bullying.
No bullying, that's right. Pink is actually the official anti-bullying color. On Fridays, I allow students to wear pink, whether it's being a pink jacket, a pink shirt, pink shoes, pink belts, because I want everyone to understand that bullying will not be tolerated. My kids will hear it on the intercom every day. Just remember this is an anti-bullying zone, as well as me sending messages to their homes.
The actions you should take when you are being bullied.
And the teachers themselves have character education videos that they show to their advocacy kids.
He's the only bully I know that comes to school every day. Just my luck.
We use this play as a teaching tool.
This has been on you 24/7.
The young man who played the victim didn't understand that victims would go so far as possibly even kill themselves.
But I just could not face him again.
But last year we had a ceremony for a student who was being bullied at another district, and unfortunately he took his own life.
Oftentimes when kids come home, you ask them how their day went, they'll say, it was fine. If you ever have that feeling that there's something more to that I'm fine, you need to push past it because it can save a life.
The festival is an event that we started last fall. It's a chance to get community members into one location for us to share with them critical information about bullying.
So in celebration of the festival and in preparation, our boys and girls worked collaboratively on posters that really highlighted the things that students could do to combat bullying on campus or in their neighborhood. We received some materials from the district. One was a writing journal, and bullies are a pain in the brain. So we already had some things in place to create a dialogue with our boys and girls regarding bullying. Also, it allowed a venue for us as administrators to intervene regarding situations that we may not have known about.
And we want to be able to show that the students are doing positive things in our community through the partnership of the schools, Austin High School with Jackson Middle School and the elementary feeder schools here.
Here at Austin High School, we are developing a mentor program with our National Honor Society students. Our students will be trained to address academic issues, social issues, but most importantly, anti-bullying issues.
When you think about the severity of the issue, you need to make sure that you take the issue seriously and you act on it immediately.
I know with this actions taken that the teachers just aren't fooling around with bullying. They're serious and they'll put their foot down when they hear about it.
Principal Craig Cuellar and his staff are being recognized for their efforts to put an end to bullying. Jackson has been named the #1 bully-free campus in the city and the state. Way to go, Craig, and keep up the great work. Coming up, HISD has thousands of graduates who've gone on to do amazing things. Let's see if you can guess this one. He's a graduate of the High School of the Visual and Performing Arts. He's a millionaire, and he's not even 30. Find out who he is next and hear why he's proud to say, "I am HISD." But first, here's an HISD fast fact. Did you know that HISD school buses travel roughly 70,000 miles per day? That's the equivalent of going to the moon and back every 7 days. Don't go away. HISD's Within Our Walls will be right back.
Multiplication and division, I was like, oh, I don't get this.
The math really got harder and harder.
Every school that's involved in the Apollo 20 program, they've adjusted the schedule to have a longer school day to involve the tutoring.
I tutor Jake every day.
He'll help me with the things that I don't get.
They have a person in the school that they can really connect with, somebody that they can look up to.
Now that I'm with Ms. Singleton, I know how to do it.
When the student gets it, that's the best thing.
HISD takes great pride in the many successful graduates it has produced since 1923. Many have gone on to do extraordinary things and create products that we use in our lives every day. One of these graduates is Matt Mullingwig. You may not recognize his name, but his creation has changed the internet.
We created WordPress to make it easy for anybody, regardless of their technical ability, to create a really beautiful website. It's used from everyone with just normal personal blogs, like myself, at ma.tt is my blog, all the way up to all the big media, so CNN, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, Fox News, pretty much all the major media are now embracing blogs and WordPress as software as a medium to sort of have more of a two-way conversation with their audience as opposed to just broadcasting. I attended 4 HISD schools. I went to Red Elementary for my first few years of elementary. I switched to Parker to join their magnet program. That's when I began playing the alto saxophone. I then went to Johnston and continued the alto sax there under the tutelage of Craig Green. And then finally I was accepted into HSPVA, and that was very, very influential on me. I really loved my time there. I was really passionate about music, and I got to learn and really grow on the jazz side of things with the saxophone. When I was starting WordPress, no one knew that I was a 19-year-old kid here in Houston that didn't really know how to program. The work was judged purely on its merits. And so, you know, online it's very much a meritocracy, and you can excel no matter what your background, no matter anything like that. I think public education is an important part of that because, you know, it gives us all the baseline that we can later use to follow our passions and really pursue our interest, whatever that interest might be. By definition, if you want to be successful, you have to be willing to put in the work that others aren't going to. That dedication is the only thing that's going to separate you in the world. That has nothing to do with talent or intelligence or anything like that. It's all hard work. My name is Matt Mullenweg, and I am HISD.
Add HISD to the list of the thousands of companies who are using Matt's creation. HISD's news blog uses WordPress to keep readers up to date on what's happening at the district and our nearly 300 schools. You can check it out at hisdnews.wordpress.com. It's time now to take a closer look at an HISD department that all of our employees depend on, even if they never see them in person, the payroll department. They single-handedly make sure that all 30,000 HISD employees get paid correctly and on time. You might think it's as simple as calculating the number of hours worked for each person, but there's a lot more than that involved when we go behind the scenes.
Every other Wednesday, come rain or shine, it's payday at HISD. The job of making sure all 30,000 employees get paid on time and correctly belongs to this woman.
I love my job. I love doing payroll. To know that someone's got paid correctly, and it's very gratifying.
Mary Perosa runs HISD's payroll department. With a team of 12, she makes sure payday at HISD runs smoothly.
We have a great team. It's like one big family. It's a fun job. I enjoy it.
You either love payroll or you don't.
It's like 55. 80, 30.
The job of payroll involves more than just calculating the hours each employee works.
I have a person who just handles stipends. Then we have all the garnishments, child support, student loans, bankruptcy. So we have a person who just handles all of those. And then on top of that, we have someone else who just checks the way people use their leave time, if you've used your leave time according to board policy.
And of course, there's the person that handles direct deposits, making sure the money gets into the right bank account. That's Joy Wilson. And if she wasn't around, what would happen?
You would have disaster. You'd have funds coming and going from every institution, maybe or maybe not getting into the proper account.
But before the money gets into the accounts of HISD employees, there is a whole series of checks and balances.
We run what's called a 300 employee sample. We look at these same 300 people with different job descriptions throughout the district to see if every pay period something about their check looks different.
The 300 employees in the sample include teachers, custodians, bus drivers, and of course,
the superintendent.
Making sure the sample is correct can sometimes take all week.
We always have some red flags. So the next day we start all over with all those same queries, all those same, and we keep running until we have a clean payroll on Thursday night.
But sometimes Thursday night turns into Friday morning.
The latest I have ever been here is 4 o'clock in the morning.
We have stayed all night.
Luckily, that doesn't happen too often. Once everything is confirmed, the file is sent to the operations department, which prints a few checks. But the bulk of payments are made through direct deposit. And thanks to the efforts of the HISD payroll department, those deposits are in the bank every other Wednesday.
I do get a lot of emails back from people, thanking me for what the job we are doing.
We work together, we help each other out.
Everybody here wants everybody else, to do well, because the bottom line is for the children.
The payroll department works very hard to get them paid on time and correctly, and that if there's ever a problem, that feel free to call us.
A special thanks to everyone at the HISD payroll department. We appreciate your hard work and dedication. That's it for this edition of HISDs Within Our Walls. Remember, you can keep up with the latest happenings at HISD by following us on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. I'm Terry Greer, and thanks for joining us, and I'll see you again next time.